I quickly bend down to grab the broken piece. Oh, look at his face. Oh, was that what? Oh, oh, okay. Gotta log in now. Hello, hi. My name is Kumargana, and welcome back to Where Winter Crows Go. We're pretty much picking up exactly where we left off at. We know what happened in the previous episode. We play as a person, ow, I hurt my arm, named Aspen, who somehow or another ruined their own trip by crashing their car, popping their tires, trying to avoid a crow that flew into the middle of the road. Long story short, a blizzard came in, they found a house. Inside the house was this green-haired ecologist named Crowe. And we have to stay here for a week with this psychopath and, I don't know, try not to die or to escape or something, supposedly. I'm not sure, but let's just play. So this is the morning after. This is the start of day 2. So Aspen has woken up and brushed their teeth and just getting ready with the day. So, whew, thank God Crowe has so many spare toothbrushes. I guess it makes sense you need to supply yourself with a whole bunch of stuff if you live in the woods. Can't really make a quick trip to the grocery store, can you? I didn't see a car outside the cabin, though, so maybe he gets everything delivered. Yeah, that's what I was saying in the previous episode, that there is no car in the drawing of the cabin, but I was like, maybe it was in the back or on the side, but the fact that he didn't even offer Aspen a ride or anything led me to believe he didn't have a car to begin with. Who knows? Once I'm presentable enough, I make my way to the kitchen. Look at this guy. I'm greeted with the smell of rice cooking on a stove. Oh, what we making, Crowe? And the sound of Crowe's masterful skill of cutting veggies at a ridiculous speed. Better not call out to him yet, or he might cut himself by accident. Alright, man. The moment I move to head to another room, though, Crowe notices me and stops dead in his tracks. Oh. He leaves the knife on the counter and approaches me. Good morning, Aspen. Good morning, Crowe. I was about to go wake you up. Morning. Somehow this feels a little like deja vu. Actually. Okay. Hey, that's exactly what happened the morning of day 1. Feels a little like deja vu, don't you think? Oh, and he's a mind reader. Excellent. Look at absolute shock. We spoke to each other like this yesterday too. Yeah, I'm about to say, y'all did the same song and dance. Actually, I was thinking the same thing. Thought you were gonna say it. Perhaps this will become something of a daily ritual for us. Daily, you say? Lunch will be ready in just a bit, by the way. Wait, lunch? I know I went to sleep earlier than usual, but still, did the bath relax me that much? Girl, you were probably drugged. There was probably something in that tea, because I saw red oil. Oh, Jesus Christ. Red oil like sitting at the top of that tea from the previous episode, right? Jeez, I slept like a log. Maybe it's the effect of the... Oh my god, please don't say it. Log cabin. Thought you were gonna say tea. Aspen, you think that you slept in because of the cozy log cabin? Did you not think about the possibility of being poisoned or drugged? Oh, that was terrible. It was terrible. Well, you laughed, didn't you? This cheeky buster. Cheeky buster? What time period does this take place in? Yeah, whatever. But honestly speaking, you were under a lot of stress yesterday. It's no wonder you slept so much. If anything, isn't it a good thing? I imagine your job doesn't let you rest very well. Oh my gosh, he's literally doing... You know that step? There's like a step system to gaslighting? Or not gaslighting, but I don't know, getting people onto your side, and the first step that people who are like manipulative like this is to make it seem like they're on your side, and the best way for them to do that is to another individual. So like, we obviously know Aspen has a terrible time at their job, but it's so easy for when you see that people are having a rough time at work or with family or with friends to say, oh, well, isn't being with me or being in this situation that doesn't involve them better because they're not around, right? So he's playing into something that she's already feeling, which is, you know, so I'm saying she, I know Aspen uses they, them pronouns, sorry, but which is, you know, feeding into something that they already feel, making them feel acknowledged and seen and that somebody understands them. So Aspen will be more inclined to believe that Crowe has their best interest at heart. I know I got a lot of that one sentence, but you're not wrong there. Anyway, do you need help with the food?
Don't worry about it.
It's almost done. You might as well have said the whole thing. But you can help me by setting the table in the living room if you want. Sure, I'll go ahead and do that then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You should watch him cook, though. Or is that rude? I'm not sure. It's not rude in my culture to like hang around the person who's, as long as you're not in the way, but like it's not really rude to like watch them cook. I guess it depends on the person, but sometimes a lot of people see it as like, you know, something favorable because you're spending time with them and wanting to know their recipes and how they are making the meal and stuff like that. One set table later, I wait for Crowe by sitting on the two-seater couch, but not for long. The neatly arranged bookshelves in the corner of the room catch my eye once again. Oh? All of them are hardcovers. All of them have spines with no titles. Oh, so they legitimately don't have titles. I thought that was just an artistic choice because it's a lot of work to title every single one of these things. They canonically don't have titles. I do not like spines with no titles. Books that are a bit worn down and faded, but not to the point where you can say they're old. Just that they were read several times. I have a couple books like that. I have this really old book about the first emperor of Japan. It's a gigantic book, but there's nothing on the spine and it doesn't have a cover. You'll only know if you like open up the book and like read the first paragraph or something like that. Not gonna lie, I'm really curious about his collection. What does Crowe like to read? You should. Before I change my mind and chicken out, I grab a reddish book off the top shelves. It's the only one with a vibrant color. That one, okay. Let's see. Honestly, I didn't even notice that one stuck out. Winter Ecology, Living in the Cold. Well, that's fitting, all right. We have all heard about ecology at least once. How it studies the interrelationships between living things and their environment. How it strives to explain the behavior of assorted species around the world. It is vast, it is ever-changing. But how much does it truly change in the realm of winter? Recent discoveries have shown the incredible strategies that living things have implemented in order to pull through cold climates. Also, winters vary from region to region, so this book is it'll have to talk about specifically which winters to survive, because winters in the south where I live are very mild compared to winters up north or like in Canada, or winters in even warmer climates like Brazil. Winters are very different in all aspects of the world, so the native species or invasive species that have taken place in those areas are going to all act differently. This, in turn, reinforces the fact that we are all connected. All connected? Yeah, I can see that. It begs the question, how much is truly necessary to survive? How did he know exactly what line we were on? The sound of Crowe's footsteps distracted me from going any further. I decide to come clean, keep the book tight with me. I mean, there's nothing wrong with reading it. God, is he gonna kill me for reading through his books? He's an ecologist, so like, wouldn't this just be, you know, we're taking an interest in something that he's interested in, right? People like when their friends and romantic interests take an interest, even if it's feign, you know, somewhat of an interest in their interests, right? Don't put the book away. It looks like you were snooping, which, I mean, you just grab a book off the wall. I don't know. Keep the book right with me. I don't know, just be like, hey, I was reading this book. I know he said I should feel at home, but for some reason, it kind of feels like I invaded his privacy. It's a book about ecology. Thanks for waiting, Snowflake. Oh, I forgot that Aspen, liked this. I fidget with my hands. What's wrong? I'm sorry, Crowe. I looked at one of your books without permission.
Don't worry about it.
Feel free to read any books you like. Okay, I thought he'd be chill about it. Unless he's secretly not chill about it, then I just doomed myself. Most of them are research-oriented, though, so I'm not sure if you'll be interested. Wait. Huh? Out of curiosity, which one did you pick? the one that stood out the most about winter survival. That one. I point to the only red hardcover on the shelves. None of the others were red, so it made me curious. I did not need that in my ears. Are you okay? Just dandy. What did you slip in between the pages of this book, sir? Was I not supposed to read it? I'm sorry. Oh, no, you're fine. It's not that. It's really not that, honest, just... What? That research book happens to be written by yours truly. Oh, so that's why it was so dastardly written, huh? Oh. Oh. Aw, you didn't want us to read your works. I get it. There's things I write, and I only let a handful of people read it. But like my mom or anybody else cannot. Even if they'll be supportive about it, they're not gonna read it. At least not now. Maybe in the future. It's still a work in progress, though. I'll keep working on it this week. That's really cool, Crowe. I hope it goes well. It's also odd that he's journaling this by hand and not typing it out on a like a laptop or something. Considering he's a scientist, you would think he'd want to have multiple backups just in case something happens to this. I'm not a scientist, but I do write, like my own little stories here and there. So I have multiple backups of my writing. I have physical copies because there's nothing wrong with just doing the old-fashioned write by hand. But for my longer works or for more detailed world building, I should say, I use online resources. So I have like you know, documents, and I use Obsidian and stuff like that. So.
Thank you.
I can't help but wonder, though. Is the writing for research books normally that intense? Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's less of a research book and more of his personal feelings towards how beings survive, right? Like, it's written almost like a freelance psychology book more than a typical scientific study, right? Maybe he's just passionate about his work. By the way, if you're interested, I can show you some of my favorites later. He wrote it as if he's writing a story about like some dystopian world or something like that, but he's using his knowledge of this particular science to do world building and build intrigue, right? But that's because it's not an actual research book, quote unquote. Many of these books have taught me what I know today. There have been some especially brilliant scientists throughout history. There have been. Sure, that'd be nice. I have to ask though, how can you tell all these apart? There's nothing written on their spines or even their front. Oh, each book has a number and a symbol assigned to it depending on the topic. I like to keep them organized in this manner since the textless hardcover books look more aesthetic and neat. Boo. Boring. Well, you're certainly dedicated, that's for sure. Yeah? Never thought of it that way, but I guess you have a point. I doubt I'd do it with my own bookshelf, though. Yeah. Too annoying to keep track of what's what. Let's eat, shall we? Crowe places our lunch on top of the placemats that I previously set on the wooden table. Don't mind if I do. Aspen, of all the things you've questioned, and once again, I have a sneaking suspicion that my decisions that I had Aspen make in the previous days shaped the way that they're acting now. But if that's not the case, you're way too trusting. Oh, that looked good though. That looked good. Salmon on top of a nice bed of rice? I could go make that right now. I don't have salmon. Oh, now I'm hungry. It looks so good. I love salmon rice. Me too. I'm gonna be honest. This is a go-to quick meal I make pretty frequently. It's so easy, and you can make so many varieties of salmon and rice. I just like food. But you can make so many. You can make like an Asian style, various Asian styles. You can make like regular like soul food style. Like this is such a go-to dish for me. That's really funny. You do? I'm glad. I'll be sure to remember that. You're about to open the deep freezer. There's just gonna be a bunch of salmon in there. Wasting. Oh my god. Wasting no more time, and before I end up salivating all over my clothes, I wolf down the meal with gusto. Oh, nice words. Look at Aspen's face, bro. They're not going anywhere. Every flavor is so rich. The smoky and juicy salmon, the fluffy and buttery rice. It's impossible to keep the smile off my face. I'm smiling too. Yeah, it's so good. I want a bowl. I love food. Yeah. You know what? Me and Aspen might be more alike than I thought. That was delicious. Happy success then. Hell yeah. Once we finish eating, Crow starts piling dishes as if it was the most natural thing in the world. Wait, Crow. Huh? Don't you remember what I said yesterday? I'll take care of that. But if you clean the dishes, you'll see that I poisoned them. Crow looks to the side, but he still doesn't let go of the dishes. Alright, time for plan B. Look, we don't have to wash them right away. Can't we talk a little more? Oh, definitely. Okay, will we get to know more about Crow? With this, he finally sits back down on the sofa. And he told me I should relax. Can he not see the irony? What would you like to talk about? Well, I feel like we talked a lot about me yesterday. I'm interested in knowing more about this place. Okay, cool. Do you have a TV? Maybe the news could tell me some info about the weather and such. Crow fidgets with his hands. My phone is loud, it's not even near me. I'm sorry, Snowflake. I don't really watch TV anymore, so I didn't bother to bring one when I moved here. Though I admit I miss watching Ned Talks and Nature Planet. Oh, do you? Ned Talks? It's okay. Honestly, I'm pretty much the same in that regard. I mean, who even watches TV anymore other than Netflix and other streaming services? Oh, do I have TV? I don't have cable. I watch live TV. No, Aspen's right. The most we do is watch like Family Feud and other game shows that we happen to catch on TV, but I can't say I'm waiting for 7, 8 Central to watch the newest episode of blah blah blah. Most of the time I just watch YouTube videos, and the other time I watch anime, and that's on like Crunchyroll, so I don't really need it. Still, never hurts to ask, am I right? That's true. Also, you moved here? Did you have me fooled all along and were actually a city boy? Well, I'm in my 30s, so hardly a boy. 30s! Oh no, and it's an age gap. Guys, I must admit, I know it's like really cool for like women my age to be really into like the older guys, like age gap relationships. We always see it, you know, with vampires, ageless beings and all that. And even like the 20 something or the university age person with the 30, 40-year-old college professor, something like that. I'll admit I'm not a fan of age gaps, even in real life. So, Aspen, if you don't say you're in your 30s too, I know that there's that thing where it's like the older you get, the less age gaps really matter. To me, that's still not the case. I know people personally who got married in their 70s to someone who was in their 50s, and I hated it. And I still hate it. Yes, they're both old enough to get elder discounts, but like, why would you be in your 50s and you want someone in their 70s? Why are you in your 70s and you want someone in your 50s? I'm in my early 20s, so the fact that Crowe's in his 30s, okay, whatever. And frankly, I don't know much about the city either. I moved from another village that was west of Winter Hollow. Oh, don't tell me Frost Peak Town. Frost Peak is a beautiful place to live, but no, I moved from a village called Veritas Fall? Even farther to the west. That's a pretty name. What kind of place is it? He made that shit up. Crowe breaks eye contact in his eyes. He leans against the back of his seat and supports his elbow on the sofa's arm before resting his chin on his hand. A little boring, to be honest. Not much to do. You ran out of people to kill, Crowe? I see. If that place even exists. He looks a bit uncomfortable. I should change the topic. Now, he's doing that because he wants you to change the topic. Stay on the topic. Ask for coordinations. Ask for pictures. By the way, I know you said you don't have a TV, but what about Wi-Fi? I noticed you didn't have any reception on my... I noticed I didn't have any reception on my phone, but maybe if I connect to your Wi-Fi. Crowe looks at me as if I've grown 3 heads. Why Wild dry? What? I feel my brain took 15 seconds to catch up with that. Does this idiot not know? He's not a real scientist. I told y'all. He's not even, I don't even think he's human, actually. That's probably why he don't know what Wi-Fi is. He pretended that small little town, small little village was so far out to the west and it's such a small little town that nobody would know what it is. I think you just came here from another plane, moved to this house, and didn't expect to have company. Look at that face. You're definitely not a city boy. You don't need to be a city boy to know what Wi-Fi is. Coming from someone who half my family is in the middle of the fucking boonies, they know what Wi-Fi is. They know what Wi-Fi is. Just because you're not a city boy does not mean you don't know what Wi-Fi is. Contrary to popular belief, the country does in fact have Wi-Fi. It's just not the strongest Wi-Fi, but it's available. Some things have difficult names, alright? Wi-Fi and wild rye. I'm willing to bet nature has names that are even more complicated. Yeah. Huh, you think so? Yeah, wouldn't you know the scientific names of things? Of course, the nature nerd would say that. Anyway, don't worry about it. Back to the topic. Wi-Fi is wireless connection to the internet. It's very convenient, but I guess it's not really necessary if you only have one device. Aspen, use your critical thinking skills for 1 second. Do you think that you have to explain what Wi-Fi is to this 30-something-year-old man who claims to be a scientist, even if the science he studies isn't, you know, technology-based? Doesn't mean that doesn't mean that he wouldn't know what modern day technology is. It'd be one thing if Wi-Fi literally just came out. Once again, I don't know, but even then, like the same way regular people who are not scientists at all are able to keep up with and be informed about developments, I would argue that an actual scientist who claims to have worked in the field or claims to do work in the field would do the same. Why? Because this man isn't an actual scientist. He's a researcher at best, but then like I'd say that loosely, right? Aspen. Think. Why would he not know what Wi-Fi is? Everybody knows what Wi-Fi is, whether you use it or feel like you need it much or not. He would at least know what it is. I'm stumped. Flabbergasted even. He doesn't have any devices. You don't have internet either, right? I'm sorry. Bro. I know what it is though, it's just not really for me. As a researcher, Aspen. I'm sure there are plenty of researchers and scientists who choose to live outside of the internet and not partake in it often, whether it's television, cell phones, playing Candy Crush, whatever. He would still know what it is. He would still know what it is. I'm not very good with that kind of technology. The most I'm willing to do is have an electric generator. Then... okay. Hey, it's okay. I'm sure internet is convenient, but... I think it's really admirable that you're very hands-on with your research. Okay, outside of the research, basic things, typing, documenting things, having access to your government stuff, right? Government documents. I don't know. Do you have house insurance? If anything, I wish I could be less addicted to social media and otaku culture. Okay. Right? There are just so many things you have to see for yourself. Oh my gosh. Okay, what about you, Crowe? You're missing out on the internet. You weren't there for the Sharkeisha video. That's old, but you weren't there for it, clearly. You know? You weren't there for the memes. You weren't there for Vine? King Vader? You missed it out. And reading things from the internet doesn't hit quite the same as feeling the texture of paper in your hands. Okay. Well, I've always loved the smell of books. Me too. Okay. Before we know it, it's already evening and we spent most of the day talking about various topics. I have to say that I'm getting more and more interested in Crowe's research. You're about to be part of Crowe's research. Do you think I could help you with it? Like when you go outside and observe nature or forage for stuff? You'd like to accompany me? Are you kidding? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But not really. I mean, you could go out and observe anything at any time. I think a lot of people forget that. When it comes to at least this type of science, some sciences you do have to, like, study to gain access to it. But in terms of, like, taking in the world around you and doing basic research, sure, it probably won't be on the level of a modern-day scientist, but you can very well go out there and look at stuff and take note of things and the way they are, and even Google, you know, because all of us have the internet if you're watching this video, even Google, you know, why certain things are the way they are. You can do all of that on your own, Aspen. But I know some people don't really think about it or get in the mood to do it unless they're in that environment, so I understand. Sure, lots of people go skiing, but not everyone can say they've been studying winter ecology with a bona fide specialist. Well, I don't think you could say that either. I don't know how much of a specialist this guy is. Well, I certainly wouldn't mind. It'll finally be nice to have some company. And there are things books can't teach. You have to see them for yourself. But we'll have to go tomorrow morning. Winter days are much shorter after all. The sky's already turning dark. Yeah, that's totally fine. I wouldn't want to be alone in the dark either way, especially given how I got caught in the snowstorm merely 2 days ago. It's getting a bit chilly. Should we make some tea? Yeah, but let me wash the dishes first. Is he about to give you that weird red mushroom tea? With Crowe right by my side, I pick up the plates and take them to the sink. It still makes me quite a bit uneasy, a bit queasy making you do the dishes. You're a guest. Come on, it's no big deal. Have you never divided household chores with anyone? Not really. I've managed on my own for most of my life. I know his experience is probably not the same as mine. I know it, and yet I can't help but feel like I can relate. Okay. Do you ever feel lonely, Aspen? I know that we say we're not fans of like small talk and stuff, but that's quite a question. Lonely? Lonely, huh?
Not anymore.
Get the fuck off my screen. Oh my god, bless whoever broke that window. I quickly bend down to grab the broken piece. Oh, look at his face. Oh, was that what the Oh, okay. Gotta lock in now. Don't stab me. But unintentionally cut the palm of my hand in my haste. Okay, so he scared her, and then they dropped the plate, and he's looking like, I don't know. There's a lot of static going on in the background though. Man, it just gotten healed from the frostbite too. And you cut yourself on the pieces, really? Dread. I have to calm down. I have to. Serious moment. Scary moment. Serious, scary. Sorry, Crowe, I broke your—
I don't care about the stupid plate!
Voice is so damn high. Lockdown. Serious moment. Serious. Instead of waiting for an answer, Crowe grasps my wrist and puts my hand under the faucet. He's mad that you've dared mark up your beautiful hands. Fuck, it's still bleeding. I'm gonna burst into tears, and it's not for the reason the game wants me to. With vigor and precision, he lathers up my hands with green herbal soap until there are no signs of red. This seems to calm him down a little since he's no longer grating his teeth. Does blood set you off? He's got red eyes. That's never been talked about. I know Aspen probably isn't one to talk about one's physical appearance, but I do think that that's something that should have been brought up at some point. But he doesn't let go of my hand. Okay. Bro, I think I'm alright now. You can let go.
No, not yet.
Okay. I'm begging you not to lick it. I beg. I don't dare interrupt him again, so I stare at him while he gets hold of a first aid kit that takes out a small round container. Okay, disinfecting is important. Don't worry, it won't sting. He opens the lid, draws a finger in the creamy ointment, and rubs it over my wound. It has a minty fragrance. Finally, he covers it with gauze. What type of cut did you get where you needed where you were spurting blood all up over the place, needed ointment and gauze? Ointment, sure. Gauze is a bit much. Like maybe a band-aid. Honestly, be more careful, won't you? It wasn't that big of a deal. It really wasn't. I mean, yeah, I'll be more careful. It's a good bean. I don't think I should tell him I got hurt because he caught me off guard in the first place. Well, yeah. Thanks, Crowe. We were about to have some tea, yeah? I'll make us some tea. Alright. Great. Anything to get me out of this awkward conversation? Alright, tell me about your weird-ass inner thoughts, Crowe.
Nothing will come between us.
Literally? Nothing happened. You're the only two here. You've been talking all day. Nothing. No person. No animal. Oh, is that why there's no animals? Hold up. Wait a minute. This is the best song in the game. Why is it right here? Not even a pesky wound. How would that wound come between y'all?
I'll make sure of it.
Oh, beautiful. Lovely face. Shout out to the artists. They're actually doing a good job. Did a good job. The game's been out. Day 3. Wow. Day 2 went by kind of quick. I wonder if these are short days. There's 6 in total, so I'll either stop at the end of this day if it's long, or day 4. Come on, come on. I think Aspen's trying to get their phone to work. For the 100th time in a row, For the 100th time in a row, I look at the upper left corner of the screen. No Wi-Fi? Nothing. I met with the same no service text, almost like it's mocking me. I said this in the first video, I think, but you should still be able to ping police officer, I think. Typically, like, even if it doesn't go all the way through, they're, like, I almost said receptionists, that's not what they're called, but their responders would usually, or like the IT techs, or like, there's people who can tell if somebody's trying to get in contact with the police unit. And typically they can track it down. I don't know. I don't work for the police, so I don't know. Really, the only thing I could confirm by charging my phone is the time. I already know I'm pretty much wasting my vacation. No need to say it to my face, you dumb rectangle. Well, you won't be wasting your vacation, because the way Crowe's talking, this is about to be a lifelong change for you. That was really embarrassing. Great insult skills, Aspen. Yeah, fantastic. Honestly, it still blows my mind that Crowe had no idea what Wi-Fi was. Are you just now... Really? I mean, come on, who mistakes Wi-Fi for Wild Rye? Are we even from the same planet? He might not be from this plane of existence. It's kind of adorable, though. Okay. See, I didn't do... As far as I'm aware, I didn't do anything to make Aspen start thinking like that. Was Aspen always gonna think like that? Because I sure don't. Plus, he does know what phones and internet are. Oh, wow. I mean, I know what things are. It doesn't necessarily mean I know how to use them. Thank God. But of course, he doesn't have either. Classic Aspen, bad luck. Yeah, also, if he's a researcher, most researchers, even if they're not really in it for the money, try to do something to like post their research or like update it in some way, which would mean he would still need at least a computer. So once again, him not having Wi-Fi or a computer is a major red flag, even if he lives out in the middle of the country. No clue why my voice is evading me. Why was he so serious yesterday? I mean, yeah, I was bleeding a little, but it wasn't that bad, right? It really wasn't. He acted like he was gushing blood all over the place. I thought the situation was a lot more serious than it was because of his face. Whatever. Let's not overthink too much, Aspen. You're doing something fun today. I think you should think a little deeply, Aspen, actually. Let's think a little deeply. After getting my fill of yawns and limb stretching, I approach the wardrobe to choose the clothes I'm gonna wear. Oh, outfit change? New character model? Nope. Yesterday, Crowe insisted I put them inside the drawer so they don't wrinkle inside my backpack. Might as well hang up the backpack too, you ain't going nowhere. Speaking of my backpack, I should probably take it with me. It'll come in handy for carrying any wild foods or herbs we come across. Sure. All set. I'm about to turn around until I make eye contact with the bunny from the picture on the top wardrobe. Although I did notice it the first day I came here, I wasn't in the right headspace at the time to actually care. It's pretty cute. I don't know whether there were species of snow bunnies. What? You didn't know there were species of snow bunnies? Is Aspen saying that they didn't know that snow bunnies existed, or that there are multiple species of snow bunnies and that's what they didn't know? Because if that's the case, I didn't know that either. Guess you learn something new every day. When I reach the hallway, Crowe is pulling the cords of a drawstring bag to close it tightly. The sack is so full it feels like it's gonna burst. Damn, are you carrying a tent in there? Aspen, I didn't realize you were up. Rise and shine, am I right? Indeed. Good morning, Snowflake. Morning. So, are you gonna tell me what you got there? I like Aspen's like shit-eating grin. Well, I guess it does look pretty stuffed, doesn't it? Let's see, I packed our lunch, a thermos with hot tea, some tools for foraging. Reconsidering, I think I should have probably taken space into account. Hey now, your assistant's got you covered. We can use my backpack to carry our findings. With a self-satisfying snort, I crouch and pat the bag lying at my feet. Crowe claps his hands together and grins.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That'd be a lot of help. Do we have everything we need then? Yes. Are you ready? I raised my hands in the air to show him the winter gloves he gave me yesterday before heading to sleep. I didn't forget them this time. So I see. I'm glad they fit you well. Thank you for lending them to me. Oh, it's just... they were actually meant as a gift. Wait, really? I don't know what to say. Like, on one hand, it's really creepy for some random man to just be giving us gifts. But this could also be taken as maybe he's giving us a gift for the road so that when we eventually leave... cough cough. When we eventually leave, we'll also have some gloves. Because it'll still be cold even though it's not necessarily blizzarding, right? So... are you sure? That's really kind of you, Crowe, but... are you sure I can have them? Aren't they important to you? I have quite a few pairs in my room. Don't worry about it, really. Besides, I think that color suits you more. Dear God, how does he do that? My cheeks are on freaking fire over here. Well, it doesn't really take much, Aspen, so it seems. I clear my throat for a few seconds until I can finally muster something coherent. Thank you. There we go. You're very welcome. Now you won't be able to forget me. Oh God, what'd you bind the gloves with? Oh, oh my God, you got so red. Relax, I was just teasing you. Yeah, I totally knew that. I didn't know that. Unless he's teasing about teasing. Or teasing about the teasing about teasing. Yeah, I overthink like this too. Can't say nothing about this part. God, I stuck at being flirted with. You know what? Same. I don't get flirted with though, so I feel like I would also flirt because I wouldn't know. Or maybe I would know. I don't know. And I'm 100% sure I wouldn't be able to forget him anyway. Not with that smile. Aspen sees something in this man that I don't. Oh, I like that the jackets disappeared. That's such a cool detail. A lot of artists would have just said it, but not actually did it in the art. I like that they did that. That was nice. I like that it's not that the art background is interactive, but the things that stand out are mostly being used or at least referred to in the story. So like, for instance, not seeing the car outside the cabin, you know, my first guess was maybe there was a car on the other side, but the fact that there is no car, right? And we go into that. And then the fact that, you know, this hallway, there were 2 jackets hanging up there. One was much smaller than the other, so I'm assuming that I am the one wearing that pink jacket, I think. I think it was pink, I can't remember the color. And even the other scene where they're in the living room and Aspen talks about sitting on the 2-seater love seat, there's a 2-seater love seat right there, and talks about, you know, picking up the red book. There was a book that was obviously not there. You know, all the books are, there's no words on the spines or the covers, which we can see. So I do really like that the drawing isn't just for atmosphere and to say, oh, here's a house, but also small details in the background that are sometimes being brought up by Aspen and Crowe themselves as part of world building. So I really appreciate that. Crowe puts on his jacket and slides the drawstring over his shoulder. I follow suit with my own jacket and backpack. Alrighty. Now we're definitely ready. Aw, okay, I thought we were gonna get a new little character model. This is cute. This is cute on Aspen. You can't see my mouse. I turned it off. This is cute. That we are. He takes his keys from his pants pocket and unlocks the front door. Okay, keys in the pants. Aspen's not gonna be able to grab them, guys.
After you.
Thanks. Oh. Yeah, see, okay, this is our first time outside the cabin in a while, but I was saying that, as you can see, there is no car, not even a sign of a driveway or a road. Granted, potentially if there was one, it might have been just completely covered in snow, maybe. But then there is also, slabs of sheet metal. I'm supposing, I suppose it's covering up holes of some sort, or perhaps for some sort of insulation on the outside? I don't know. Once outside in the snow, I glance back at the log cabin. It's kind of weird to think how a mere 3 days ago this was the scene of a blizzard. Right now it's so peaceful. The cabin looks kind of old in comparison to the inside. It's an interesting contrast, yet it still makes me wonder why it's like that. Not gonna lie, before we'd stepped into the snow, my memory of its outer appearance had still been a bit foggy. Guess that's what a combination of stress, freezing weather, and passing out can do to someone. I feel a hand on my shoulder. Are you okay? Oh, I'm just thinking about the fact that I ruined my life in like a minute 3 days ago. Why, are you okay? Yeah, I was just looking at the cabin. Couldn't really appreciate it the first time because of the snowstorm, among other
I
things.
see.
And did it leave an impression on you? Well, I fiddled with my fingers. It looks a bit, unexpected compared to the inside. You can say the word old, you know. I don't bite. My cheeks turned scarlet. Oh. God damn it, I really need to work on my poker face. Girl. When I moved here, the inside wasn't much different from the outside. It was just as shabby, just as ancient. Wow, and you decided to remodel it? That's right. I'm not very picky, but... I'm not picky, but I very well couldn't live in a rundown place either. But then, why didn't you remodel the outside too? Was it too expensive? Not particularly, I just thought it had charm of its own. Something that appears to be a certain way at first, but then takes you aback. An unexpected charm, just like you said. You're full of surprises, aren't you? Yeah.
Does that mean you're even more interested in me?
Oh god. Sure. Yeah, whatever. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's like... I know he's a yandere, so I was about to say he's like a yandere. I know he's a yandere. I'm trying to think of a specific yandere character he's acting like specifically, because not all the yanderes act the same, or at least the ones I'm thinking of in like anime at least. He reminds me of is she a yandere or tsundere? I'm not sure, but the girl from Don't Tease Me, Miss Nakatoko? I forgot the complete name of it, but the girl from that one, she could dish it, but she can't take it. Same thing with who's flirty but can't take it? Tamaki from Oran High School Host Club. He can sit there and flirt all day, but if someone flirts back with him, he's like, or like, you know, Haruhi does something and he finds cute, he's just like, oh my god, oh my god, what do I do? Because he's so used to being like the flirty one. But Tamaki's not a yandere. He's just weird. You sure can be very bold, huh? I wasn't expecting you to answer so honestly. Well, I mean, at this point, clearly we're not going anywhere. Well, what can I say? I find you very interesting. Okay, don't get too excited now. You're not the only one who can tease Crowe. Sure. I feel like you're full of surprises yourself. Look out, Forrest. Here comes the mind-boggling duo. Mind-boggling indeed, Aspen. Mind-boggling indeed. And you said my jokes were bad.
Alrighty.
Let's get going, yes? Lead the way. The weather is really good today. Very clear and there's moisture in the air. Besides chaga and pine needles, we might be able to get some wintergreen berries if we're lucky. I've never heard of wintergreen berries before. What do they look like? They're similar to red cranberries, but if you put them next to each other, their taste will give away which is which. Really? Is it different kind of sweetness? Nope, wintergreen berries have a minty flavor. Minty? And they're still considered berries? I know, right? Another wonder of nature. Well, a taste doesn't stop something from being something else. It's just that, you know, when I'm not going to explain it. We think of taste because of the things we've been introduced to. So when we think of minty, we think of obviously the plant or like gum, right? You wouldn't think of a fruit as being minty, but there are plenty of fruits out there that are minty, right? Just the way there are plenty of flowers, like flora, that taste similar to honey or super sweet, even if you don't necessarily extract the honey from it, like not honeydew, Jesus, like a honeysuckle or something like that, right? But there are plenty whose petals and all that tastes rather sweet, even if it's not really secreting honey or any of that. But when we think of honey as coming from beehives specifically. So there's so many other modes to get, you know, something that tastes like honey. There's also this one plant, I can't remember the name of it, but supposedly the leaves taste very similar to pineapple. But it's not a pineapple plant, but it's something completely different. But the leaves apparently taste like a really juicy, ripe pineapple. And it's used in like teas and stuff like that, I think. I know, right? Another wonder of nature. But if you're not introduced to those types of things, it can be very jarring to see that fruits and foods that you're used to tasting a very specific way and nothing else tastes like that thing except for the thing you're used to. If you're introduced to the concept of something else tasting similar, or if not exactly the same, it's very jarring. While keeping the conversation going, we continue walking along the snowy path for a while. Oh, this is that place where I didn't know we were before. I feel like sharks get a bad reputation because of the movie, you know? They're a lot more chill than dolphins. That's what I've been saying. I've been saying it. I've been anti-shark slander since the beginning. As soon as, and I was justified as soon as I found out the truth about dolphins. But I've been pro-shark for a long time, and everybody looked at me like I was crazy, talking about the movie Soul Surfer and Jaws, and that other movie where that shark stalked that one woman for like days, even though sharks don't do that. I was like, yo, I'm not a researcher, I'm not an ecologist or anything like that, but I promise you the sharks don't do that. You're more likely to get into literally any other type of accident before a shark attacks you. And if a shark does come up close to you, probably want to eat you. Or probably, I don't know. Appearances can certainly be to see. Oh, better not be a bear. Crowe stops dead in his tracks. What is it? Without saying anything, he takes my hand and leads me to a certain striped tree. I lift my head up and squint to follow a trail of the bark. Then I see it. A blackened mass protruding from the trunk. Is that? I didn't expect it to look like charcoal. That's actually a very good comparison. I'll show you how to harvest it. What'd you grab? Is that the fruit? Crowe puts the sack on the ground and grabs a big knife from inside. He then gains a bit of momentum and jumps towards the birch tree. And here, my friend, is the irrefutable proof that humans are related to monkeys. Thank you for coming to our Ned Talk. We both laugh. I'll be right there with you. Without wasting any more time, Crowe reaches the charcoal mass and cuts off a small portion. Finally, he slides down and joins me on the ground.
This is a chaga mushroom.
Oh. Interesting. It does have a little bit of a reddish hue. Maybe once it's cooked down, it makes that red oil that was sitting at the top of the tea. I lean in towards the fungus. Unlike the black mass exterior, its core is a completely different color. Wow, it's really orange. Okay, I took notice of that as well. It is, isn't it? That means this one's healthy. There we go. I'm too scared to forage myself because I'll accidentally kill myself, but I do really enjoy watching foraging videos. My favorite forager is the Black Forager. I think her name is Alexis Nicole on TikTok, or just the Black Forager on TikTok / Instagram. But I love watching her so much. So cool. But I'm too scared to do it on my own. I have a garden though. That's the closest I'm gonna get. But I cannot forage from the wild. I feel like I'll be the one that's like, remember kids, like, you know, when you're taking a test and the teacher looks over your shoulder, then all of a sudden makes an announcement to the rest of the class to read carefully. I feel like if I'm going to go forage, I'd be the reason that they reiterate, if you're going to go forage, make sure you know what you're doing because I just recently died. Oh, right. Let me carry it in my bag.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Alrighty.
Just a little bit longer and we'll have lunch. Does that sound good? Sounds good to me. Beautiful. This art is so good. When you reach the side of the forest filled with pine trees, the non-toxic pine trees, that is, Crowe grabs a knife in his bag to carefully cut off some needles. Once he finishes putting them inside a small pouch, we sit down a couple of nearby stumps. Oh, and these were the stumps that were down before. Also, these stumps were chopped, not fallen. Did Crowe cut these stumps? At last, a place to rest my legs. I can't remember if these stumps were here in the original forest artwork of when Aspen was wandering around before we met Crowe. Walking on snow is a lot more tiring than it looks. I heard you gotta pick your knees up pretty high. It feels good though, don't you think? I don't know why my voice is leaving me. When I turn to look at him, Crowe hands me a thermos lid filled with a golden colored drink. The little herbs floating at the top give it away. It's pine needle tea. Okay. I keep it in my hand for a few seconds, then take a sip. You're just accepting all types of stuff, huh? Unlike chaga, this tea is a lot more aromatic and has a minty, slightly citrusy flavor. Yeah, it does feel good. Thanks, Crowe. I drink the rest of the tea. My body feels warmer now. I think I like this one better than chaga. It's very refreshing, isn't it? You can have more if you want. Maybe in a few minutes. I'm starving. Oh, you are starving. Right on the dot. Does your stomach have a clock or something? Oh? You were saying? Anyway, I think he forced his stomach to do all that. This is a vegan sandwich, this mushroom. Trying and failing not to look too embarrassed, Crowe takes out a couple of toasted sandwiches from a plastic container inside his bag. Is this mushroom and lettuce? Spinach, mushroom, and mushroom grilled cheese? I like the way you think. Actually, that sounds really good. I like spinach and mushroom pizza. And I like grilled cheese. So I'm imagining it's the same as what's on the pizza, just in grilled cheese form. So I'm behind it. I'm actually pro this, whatever this is. It's nothing fancy, but I hope you find it tasty. I wonder if, because there's really no animals around and he doesn't seem like the type to hunt, supposedly, if he lives a vegetarian lifestyle because it's easier to get a hold of. But I would also imagine, especially during the winter months, it's really easy to get his hands on some venison or like he lives near cows. I'm sure he could pay a farmer for like half a cow and just freeze that, especially because he's living on his own. That could last a year or more, to be honest. Even if you don't want half the cow, even just part of the cow, right? There's no doubt in my mind that I will. Oh, I forgot that scrolling did this. Okay, here we go. And I'm right, a few bites later, the sandwich is long gone. God, mushrooms and cheese go well with so many things, it's almost criminal. I'm also a fan of mushrooms and cheese, so me and Aspen, when it comes to food, we're synced, we're connected. As soon as it comes to critical thinking, and finding people trustworthy, we're not on the same page. And I think that that's more important than the food aspect, but I do appreciate that we are on the same page about food. What are you thinking about? My own business? What a full tummy really makes for a happy heart. I couldn't agree more. Trying new recipes and exploring new flavors is something I enjoy as well. Okay, I do too. Oh my gosh, I hate to say that I have things in common with these people, but I actually do. Maybe you could take a lot of inspiration from a nearby restaurant. What restaurant, Aspen? There's 3 people in this town. I could what's wrong? I completely forgot about my car. Whatever compliment I just gave Aspen, I take back. Oh, the one that broke down? You knew about it. I thought I didn't think that Aspen forgot. I thought that Aspen just knew that they couldn't get to it or do anything with it with the weather, especially because of this blizzard. I didn't know that they actually forgot about it. I thought that they were just gonna lay low until they got to the bus and could reach help to say, "There's my car should be here." Not that you completely forgot about it. Well, kinda. Mostly just got a flat tire. But I should really look for it to make sure it didn't get destroyed in the snowstorm. Cars are fucking expensive after all. That they are. I stand up and pat my butt a few times to get rid of any remaining dirt. I'll be right back. Crowe grabs my arm. You don't like that?
No.
Okay, you know what? Crowe loses his mind about once a day. But the soundtrack to his crash outs are fantastic. We should start heading back. It won't be much longer till it gets dark. Ooh. Step, what is this, 3 of manipulation? Stopping you from having access to leave, which a lot of people, especially people who are in romantic relationships, or even if your parents are manipulative like this, they stop you from having access to a car or money for like a bus or Uber and things like that, so that if you want to go somewhere, you have to completely rely on them. And if they don't want you to go anywhere, you're not going anywhere. Especially if you don't have any friends or anybody around to also do something, to keep you trapped there with them. So you'd be completely reliant on them for everything, essentially. I just want to check real quick. Look, I remember this path. My car shouldn't be that far ahead.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, are you sure?
How do you know you're not making a mistake? You don't know the area like I do.
Gaslighting. Okay. Well, Crowe, then show me the area. Not to mention, with the blizzard, your car must be covered in snow anyway, so it'll be even harder to spot. I'd imagine that seeing flat land interrupted by a giant random thing of snow would be pretty easy to spot. I don't know. Once again, doesn't snow where I live, so perhaps it does make it harder to spot. But I'd imagine it'd be a car-shaped thing of snow. Is that really the case? Aspen. Lord, is this because I kept going along with him? I'm not sure if Aspen just doesn't have a spine or if they're actually just kind of stupid. I'm banking on the latter, solely because they were already making bad decisions before I even started making decisions for them. It'll get dark soon. We shouldn't be here when that happens.
It's not safe.
There are no animals at all, not even birds. I guess it's true that I don't know this area very well, but please, Aspen. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I thought I would get to choose. What? I don't get to choose? I want to go look for my cart. What if the street is completely clear? With a hurried pace, Crowe puts back all the containers inside his drawstring bag. Let's get going, shall we? Yeah. Spin. Are you kidding me? Yeah, just gonna walk back in awkward silence. Oh, this was the one I was thinking of. So we haven't seen the stump area. Almost home. Why does he sound so relieved? Let me grab my keys. Did you drop them? Sure. What was that sound? Damn it, I should have put them inside my coat. While Crowe is busy searching for the keys, I try to pinpoint the location of the sound. Was it a crow? Where is it? That's... I raise my hand and discover the culprit of the flapping noise. Oh no, a bird. The same crow. If it's most likely the exact same crow. Okay, so my theory about Crowe being the crow might not be correct, but they're playing Crowe's music. By Crowe, I mean the man Crowe. Up on the cabin's roof, feet perched on the chimney, disturbing and piercing stare. Also, crows usually travel in like flocks, right? There's a single crow. Yeah, normally it's a lot of crows at once. A crow with red eyes. Okay, so you notice the crow with red eyes, but not the man with red eyes. That was nice music. Day 4. All right, I actually lied. So I am not going to be doing day 4 in this video, but the next video will be day 4, 5, and 6. So I guess the final video of this series. I'm actually really enjoying the storyline. Aspen makes me want to reach in the game and smack the mess out of them because they don't think at all. I was going to say think critically. I don't think they think at all. But okay. So my theory about Crowe being the physical Crow is clearly wrong if Crowe and the crow were in the same spot at the same time. I'm not sure. I do feel like they're especially connected, besides the red eyes that for some reason she clocked on the crow, but not on Crowe himself. Hopefully she does. Hopefully we do, or they do. I don't know. At this point, I feel so disconnected from the main character. So they're separate. Hopefully Aspen does at some point recognize that Crowe has red eyes as well. But considering that they play the same music that they play for Crowe's inner monologues when Aspen's not around, when the crow was on screen and Aspen realized that it was the same crow that caused them to crash, I do still feel like that that crow, that single crow, and once again, I'm not a scientist, so I might be wrong on this, but the crows I've seen in my life have never really been alone. Or if they are doing something on their own, there's other crows nearby, like up in the trees or flying overhead or something like that. But the fact that there's this one singular crow is making me think that this crow is still somehow an extension of Crowe himself, even though he might not be the actual crow. But I'm not sure if the crow is friend or foe. I'm gonna say foe because they played the music, but who knows? We won't know until the next recording. But with that all said and done, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next episode. Bye.